Hey guys, how's it going? Celtic Reviews, and I'm doing a 2020 game tier list. Um, I want to also say thank you for the support on my confession video. That was a very hard video to make, but it had to be done. I had to come open and clean with you guys, and I wanted to thank you for all the support I got. I also want to thank J Fighter, Altex, and Milk for me telling them their side of the story, and you know me wanting to move forward as a better person and them giving me a second chance. If I read that right, they're giving me a second chance. So hopefully I read that right. If not, they'll correct me. But I want to say thank you to them for doing that. So with that being said, this is my 2020 games game tier list. We have 16 games here, all of which I have played and beaten, and I want to give you my honest opinion on them. I'm trying not to be biased, and this is from my personal experience. So if you guys disagree with any of this here, please let me know down in the comments where you would have put a certain game, or give me your games rankings for all these games. If you know Spider-Man Miles Morales is not on here, that's because I'm currently playing it on PlayStation right now, and I haven't beaten it yet. But I will say it's just a average experience at best right now. It's definitely not as good as Spider-Man PS4. So with that being said, we got the tiers here: fantastic, great, good, okay, bad, and shit. The difference between bad and shit, I will say, is shit is a game I would never recommend to anybody, and bad is a game that I can see some people enjoying, but it just wasn't for me. So we're gonna start off with Last of Us Part Two, and honestly, I'm gonna put this in a shit tier because there's a lot I can say about this game. First off, I will say the graphics are great, the soundtrack's great, the voice acting's great, like all that's great. But what fucking hurts this game the most, the reason why I hate it as much as I do, is its god awful story. Neil Druckmann should be a fucking shame of himself for releasing a story like this. He helped with The Last of Us Part 1 story, which was an amazing story. It was a beautiful story. He took it and was like, let's just do whatever. Like, honestly, I could come up with a better story. This story feels like it was written by a 12-year-old. And here's my story, right? Imagine Joel, Ellie, and Tommy. They're on the road together still, you know, and they come across a little civilization, the one that, Joel and Ellie lived at, and they start helping out that, little settlement, right? So they're there for a few months. As months go on, Joel and Ellie start becoming more distant, and they started losing that father daughter connection they had in the first game. And, Joel decides to take Ellie on a scavenging trip with him and Tommy. Now, on the scavenging trip, Tommy decides to let Joel and Ellie do a run together for them to bond again, while Tommy goes out on his own to look for ammo and food and supplies and shit. Now, he only goes to the next town over. Joel and Ellie are in the other town. Now, picture this. We still have Abby in the game. I know it's going to piss a lot of people off, but let's remove all the bullshit, stupid sex scene. Let's remove all that and make her an interesting, but, like, you can connect with her as a villain. Like, you understand why she's doing what she's doing. Give the, Joel killed my father's story a bit more context. Make it better. And have, her being more intriguing character. She finds Tommy, and she captures him and asks him about, for a specific guy named Joel. Tommy says, "Oh, that's my brother Joel." And as soon as they say that, because she's gonna lie to him and say, because here's the thing, I would feel like that she would lie to, like, say, "Oh, I need help," and she's like, "I'm looking for this person," he knew my father, and he'd ask some questions, and Tommy would be like, "Oh, that's my brother Joel," and then as soon as Abby found that out, she would beat him up, torture him to get more information about where he lives and all that. In the meantime, Joel and Ellie are bonding. They're on a scavenging run together, and as soon as they get back to the meeting point they were supposed to, 3 hours passes, and Tommy and Joel starts to get worried about Tommy not showing up. So they go over to the next town, and they see out in the streets Tommy being tortured by Abby and her group of people. Knowing that there's nothing they could do because if they go over there, they would both die. They have to watch, and they watch as Tommy gets shot through the head for not giving them any information. And since Tommy was in the area, they start to figure out, they're probably still in this area. Let's keep looking. So while they leave, Joel and Ellie go to the body, and you see Joel snap. And the whole game from that point on becomes a game where Joel and Ellie are hunting down Abby and her group of people for revenge on Tommy's death. That would be a more intriguing fucking story. And remove the bullshit of playing as Abby. If you want us to play as Allie Neal, make that an optional DLC for us to purchase and play. Make that an optional thing. Like, yeah, give her some cutscenes that reveal, like, no, hell, no, don't even give her cutscenes. Make it where she's, like, mysterious on her motivations until the end of the game, where she is captured by Ellie and Joel, and honestly, they beat the information out of her why she's doing what she's doing, why she's hunting down Joel. Or if you want to do the whole, oh, let's kill off Joel thing, have Joel take a bullet or a stab for Ellie, and then Ellie beats the shit out of Abby to figure out why she was doing what she was doing. And have the truth revealed that, Joel was the one who took her away from that hospital while, she's beating the hell out of Abby. That would be such a good fucking... Oh, that would be such a good game. They didn't go with that. And instead they went for a fucking god-awful story with a gorgeous coat of paint. That's what this is. So, unfortunately, I've given Last of Us Part 2 the shit tier. Destroy All Humans. I'm giving this one I'm going to give this one a fantastic tier. I think Destroy All Humans' remake was really well done. I felt like they understood what made Destroy All Humans, and they gave us a faithful a reimagining of it. I had fun playing it. It's a game definitely for trophy hunters. It's an easy game to get trophies in, so if you're into trophies, definitely play this game if you're into that sort of trophy hunting thing. Not really many negatives I could think of. I had a blast playing it. The game looks gorgeous. The game is fun. The game is intriguing. And it's still as funny as it was back in the day. So, if you're a fan of Destroy All Humans like I am, do yourself a favor. Sorry, it's late night. Pick this up, play it, support the game. Hopefully, they'll make a remake of Part 2. FIFA 21. Now, I know Alex is like, oh, he's going to put it in the shit tier. I'm actually going to put this in the bad tier. It's bad for me, but I can see why other people enjoy the game as much as they do. Now, I did a review on this game. I got some information wrong, and for that, I apologize. I should have did my research first. I thought the modes they had were in other previous FIFA games. It turns out it was just in other football games, not in FIFA games. So for that, I apologize, and I want to take full responsibility for that. However, my opinions have not changed. I still think this is the same as FIFA 20, but feels a lot worse to play. I think guarding feels a hell of a lot worse to do in this game. And here's the thing. I haven't been a FIFA fan since FIFA 15. So, I mean, I kind of... this series kind of died out of my mind a long time ago. But again, I can see why people like it as much as they do. And if you love this game, by all means, play it. Enjoy it. I really do hope you have a blast with it. It's just not for me. FIFA 21 just isn't really my type of game. But I hope you guys, if you do enjoy the game, have fun with it. And I'm not going to stop you or hold you back from it. Enjoy FIFA 21. Resident Evil 3. That's going in the okay tier. The reason for this is I'm a big Resident Evil 3 fan. I love the OG Nemesis game. That was my favorite Resident Evil game as a kid. It combined the elements of Resident Evil 2's horror and like a great action feel and like combined it really well together, right? And with the remake, I was thinking, oh man, they're going to build upon this. Get the scares of Resident Evil 2, right? And bring in the action from Nemesis and just combine it together, that would have been such a great remake. No, we got a very lackluster remake. A game that has a 4-hour-long campaign. You heard me, 4 hours. And I took my time with this game. It took me 4.5, I would say, I would be lenient, close to 5 hours long. That's not 60 hours worth. That's not. This game was such a letdown for me. As a big Resident Evil 3 fan, I pre-ordered this game so ecstatic to play it. First off, they removed a lot of things. There's no more secret modes. There's no more mercenary modes. There's none of that. Like, remember Tofu mode from Resident Evil 2? That's gone. Remember the stories they did for Resident Evil 2? That's gone. What do they have now? A 4 to 5 hour long campaign and a lackluster multiplayer. The only reason why this game is in the OK tier is how great the game looks, how well it performs, and the voice acting is pretty fucking good. Even the story is lackluster, man. They removed so much stuff from the story mode, and it's such a big letdown for me. So unfortunately, Resident Evil 3 is just going in the OK tier. It's a decent game. I would say wait for a deep sale in this game. Maybe 15 to 20 bucks at max. Ghost of Tsushima. This is a fantastic game. If you have never played Ghost of Tsushima and you have a PS4, what are you doing? Go out and get this game. This game should have been Game of the Year, not Last of Us Part 2. Ghost of Tsushima. The game has an amazing open world, a beautiful story, great characters in it. I mean, I was so invested in the story. I played this game for days upon days, and the game really, like, to do everything, it took me close to 85 to 90 hours to do everything in this game. And that was me taking my time, looking around, exploring all the different areas of the map. I wanted to explore. And boy, did I get my money's worth out of this game, man. With them releasing the fun co-op mode and the exceptional co-op story they added for the Legends, Ghost of Tsushima Legends, is definitely worth the $60 asking price with that DLC being free. So if you ever want to try this game out, I would highly suggest you do. It is in my top games of this year. Up next is Assassin's Creed Valhalla. This is going in the great tier. This is a pretty great Assassin's Creed game. I am happy with my purchase. Now, do I think it's as good as Origins? No. Origins to me is the best Assassin's Creed game we've gotten in a long, long time. After that, we had Odyssey, which was a huge letdown for me. It was just a mess of a game with boring antagonists with Cassandra and Alexios. Who cares about them, honestly? And just terrible writing in Odyssey. But fortunately, the team who did Origins came back to do Valhalla. And man, it just feels so damn good to play. Unfortunately, I will say the story is a letdown. I think the story is just not as good as Origins. With Origins, you had a reason why to play it. Valhalla is just a meh story. I will say Eivor, however you want to pronounce his name, is a great character. I will say the way he's voice acted is really well done. Do I think he's as good as Bayek from Assassin's Creed Origins? No. Do I think he's good as Edward Kenway or Shay? No. Or Alexios, well, not Alexios, but Ezio and Altair? No. But do I think he's better than probably the Odyssey protagonist? Oh, fuck yeah. I will say he's one of the top Assassin's Creed protagonists. He's really well done. And the world is beautiful. The gameplay is fun. It combines both the best aspects of Odyssey that were there in Origins and combines them together. It's a fun Assassin's Creed game. It's just, to me, the story just did not keep me invested for a long time. It was fun doing the side quest, but the main quest and all that, the main story stuff was just not that intriguing. And unfortunately, that's what brings it down to great tier. Call of Duty Black Ops Cold War is also surprisingly going in the great tier. Surprising. I enjoyed a Call of Duty this year. Mind-blowing. I got tired of Call of Duty after Infinite Warfare. After Infinite Warfare, Call of Duty was like in meh to a shit game. You had Infinite Warfare, which the only good thing about Infinite Warfare was the zombie mode. Then you got World War II, which the only thing good about World War II was honestly the multiplayer. The story mode felt like if Michael Bay directed a goddamn World War II movie, and the zombies was just bland and boring. Then we had Black Ops 4, them trying to do a all multiplayer Black Ops game, which was just a weird decision. The zombies was just very, very lackluster to me. The multiplayer, while fun at times, just wasn't as good as it could have been. And then Modern Warfare came out. It felt like a huge step up, but I was just like, it's good, but the only reason why I play it is Warzone. But Call of Duty Cold War has 3 out of the 3 things I love about it. It's no longer like, oh, I like 1 thing out of 3 or like 2 things. No, this is all 3. I love the campaign. It's intriguing. It keeps you invested. To me, it's even better than Modern Warfare's campaign. It's a great campaign. The multiplayer is fun. I love the multiplayer in Cold War. I do think the maps need a little bit of work. I think they need to release more maps. But the multiplayer is fun. They even brought back Prop Hunt. Prop Hunt. I love Prop Hunt. They brought that back for Cold War. And the zombies. Man, the zombies is so excellent. Oh my god, dude. The zombies is so much fun. I enjoy the fuck out of zombies. Now, with all this good, you're thinking, why is it in only the great tier, not fantastic? There are performance issues. At launch, which is when I played the game, I had the game crash my console several times. And thankfully it's been patched. I think I've only had it happen once out of the few months after like one of the updates released. Not months, but like a few weeks. And there's an issue with campaign. I don't know if it's been fixed, but there's a big stuttering problem and lag problem with the cutscenes. It's like the game can't keep up with them. And I don't know if that's been fixed yet or not, but that was a major annoyance. That's why it keeps this game from being fantastic. However, with all that being said, this is a great COD title, and I'm happy I bought it. And I'm so happy that for once in a long time, I'm having a great time playing a Call of Duty game. Next up, we got Star Wars Squadrons. This is a good game. However, if you do own a high-end PC with a VR headset or a PlayStation VR, this is a must-own fantastic game. But I know a lot of people really don't have that right now. I don't even own a PSVR. I played this at a friend's house. In VR, the game is mind-blowingly immersive. However, without it, it's just a good experience. This is a game that's definitely worth $40. Not a lot of content. The campaign is very short. It feels like a mini movie almost. It's like an hour and a half to 2 hours long. That's how long it lasted for me. So it feels like a Star Wars movie that you get to play through. Depending on what difficulty you play it on, it could be longer. But it's a good game. I would definitely recommend it if you're a hardcore Star Wars fan. But for me, it's just a good game. Definitely one I will play when they add more content. But since there's not a lot of content right now, I don't think I'm going to be coming back to it for a little bit. But I can't deny that it is a great game. So kudos to EA for releasing another good Star Wars game. Madden 21. Yeah, let's get this shit in shit tier. I hate Madden. I'm tired of Madden. This game has like 4 to 5 different types of currency in it. It's just a greedy microtransaction mess right now. It's awful. It truly is awful. This game is awful. I'm tired of people supporting Madden. Like, if you want to support FIFA, I have no problem with you supporting FIFA. They're not as bad as Madden. Madden is the worst out of all of them. Literally, all Madden is shoving microtransactions down your throat. Literally, I say FIFA feels like a copy and paste. This is more of a copy and paste job than FIFA 21 is. I'd rather play FIFA 21 than Madden 21. And that's saying a lot. I at least can give kudos to FIFA for changing things up a bit. Granted, I don't like the way the game feels now, but it feels better to play than Madden 21. Don't support this game anymore, guys. Let EA know that this is not the type of football like Madden game we want. I miss the old school Madden games like back in 2006, 2007, and 2010. I miss those games. Now we're just getting EA just knowing that whatever they put out, sports fans will buy it. And the overpromotion of Ultimate Team, Jesus Christ, I thought FIFA was bad. FIFA 21 doesn't advertise it as bad as fucking Madden does, so that's why Madden's in a shit tier. UFC 4, I'm going to put in the okay tier. Out of the 3 EA Sports games I played, I think UFC 4 is the best one. Granted, it is a copy and paste of UFC 3. However, I do feel like they made a lot of improvements onto the gameplay formula. For me, as a guy who put in a bunch of hours in the UFC 3, this game does feel like a major step up. The career mode is more in depth. The fighting feels improved on. And they don't focus on Ultimate Team anymore like UFC 3 did. They actually removed Ultimate Team. But again, the game has the same problem as FIFA 21 does and Madden 21 does. It is just a copy and paste job. It's just a better out the 3 I played. So that's why to me, UFC 4 is going in the okay tier. Zombie Army 4 Dead War. This is going in the great tier. Now, many of you probably never heard of this game or even played this game. But if you're going to play this game, if you want a good cooperative 4-player third-person zombie shooter, play Zombie Army Trilogy first before you buy this game. I personally enjoyed it because I beat Zombie Army Trilogy several times before playing this game, and I absolutely love Zombie Army 4 Dead War. I do think that this is definitely a niche game, which is why I can't put it in fantastic because there is issues with this game in terms of bugs and performance issues, but the game is still fun to play. I cannot deny that. The game is a fun cooperative experience. If you've never played Zombie Army Trilogy, buy that, beat that, then play Zombie Army 4. You will have a fun time with your friends. If you like zombie games and Sniper Elite, you will definitely love Zombie Army. It's made from the same people who did Sniper Elite. So it is a fun cooperative shooter, and it's definitely a game I don't regret buying. Okay, Doom Eternal. This is going in fantastic. Listen, I'm a fucking Doom fan. I own all the Dooms on PlayStation. Doom 1, Doom 2, Doom 3, Doom 64, Doom 2016, and Doom Eternal. And I can tell you right now, Doom Eternal is the best Doom game I've ever fucking played. This game is hard as fuck. It is fast paced. It is action packed. This game is brutal. The music is fucking badass, dude. Like when you listen to it, it gets you pumped up to kill some demons. Like there wasn't a moment where I was playing it where I just didn't feel like a total fucking badass. And they actually give backstory to the Doom Slayer. They actually have a good story in a Doom game. The story is great. It's a great story with awesome cutscenes too. Badass game. If you want to play a game that makes you feel like a badass, play Doom Eternal. If you've never played Doom 2016, buy that, then buy this. You will have an amazing time, I promise you. Next up, we got another remake, Tony Hawk's Pro Skater 1 and 2, and this was a great year for remakes. Now, I didn't play the Final Fantasy one, but I did play the Destroy All Humans one and the Tony Hawk's one. And Tony Hawk's Pro Skater 1 and 2 did not let me down. I am a guy who grew up on Tony Hawk's Pro Skater. Like, I grew up on these games. I love these games. And I was kind of worried with the remake because we haven't had a good Tony Hawk game in a long fucking time. However, I am happy to report that the Pro Skater remake was a fun experience. This is a childhood bringing experience. Like playing this reminded me of when I was a kid and I would come home from school. My mom would order Pizza Hut and I would have like a thing of Pepsi next to me, and I would just sit all day in my bedroom playing this game when I came home from school. Like I remember that. I had a blast playing Tony Hawk's Pro Skater 1 and 2. If you were worried about buying this game because of the shit show that was Tony Hawk's Pro Skater 5, don't. Buy this game, play it, because I'm telling you right now, you will have a fun experience. The game is gorgeous and plays just like the classic Tony Hawk Pro Skater games with slight tweaks to make it feel modern and smooth. It's a fun experience that I won't forget. Okay, Marvel's The Avengers. This is going in the shit tier. I tried to defend this game. I tried. J Fighter and Altex know. I tried to defend this game, but the truth is they were right. This was a awful experience. I was just too blind to see. I wanted a good Avengers game. I wanted another great Marvel game like Spider-Man PS4, but unfortunately that wasn't the case. Marvel's The Avengers feels like a lazy half-assed job from Crystal Dynamics and Square Enix. This game was a live service game. And this is the problem with live service games. It doesn't feel finished. The game, somehow, people are not bringing up the fact that, look, I know people are saying, oh, Cyberpunk is the worst game of the year because of its bugs. What about Avengers? Avengers was horrible. I had the game crash on me 16 times. This game would make Bethesda proud with the amount of bugs I've had, the amount of crashes I had. This game was a big waste of money, and I just wanted it to be good because I was a Marvel fan. I was a Marvel fan, and I wanted a good Avengers game, but after playing other games and going back to play this game is a train wreck. It's nothing but a train wreck. This is a piss poor looter game. It has a piss poor story. Decent graphics, great voice acting, but the way they did the characters, the way they did the story was just awful. It was god awful. And honestly, they just need to end this game. Don't even bother working on it. Because unlike other company, which I'll get to in a sec, they won't improve the game. They care about money, and that's all they will ever care about. So fuck Avengers. It was one of the biggest disappointments, and it let me down hard. Watch Dogs Legion. It was a great game. This is a game where the whole thing was you can play as anybody. And there was no more NPC. It was all playable characters, not non-playable characters. You can play as literally anyone you see on the side of the street, recruit them, have them in your squad. Now the game holds up on that aspect, but due to limitations, there are repeating recruitment missions, and that takes you out of the experience. But the reason why this game is not fantastic is because the game story is just, again, just like Valhalla, is a lackluster story. I wish the story was a lot better than what it was. It just wasn't up to par with what I thought it was going to be. However, the gameplay, the open world of London, the mechanics all run together very well. And it makes it worth the money. Keep in mind, fantastic and great are games I would recommend getting at full price. And Watch Dogs Legion is no exception. It is a fantastic game. And I had fun with it. I did have performance issues at launch, but they seem to smooth it out, and now the game runs as perfectly as ever. So, yeah, Watch Dogs Legion is a great game. Last but not least, the most controversial opinion of them all, and I know I'm going to get a lot of hate for this. Cyberpunk 2077. I say this for last for one reason, because I won't have to defend myself on this one. I'm putting this in fantastic. Hear me out. I know people are having horrible experiences with this game, with the game constantly crashing, like Altex. I feel bad for Altex because I wanted him to experience the game that I'm experiencing it. I'm playing on PS4. I had the game crash literally maybe 3 times on me throughout the 120 hours I did playing on Nomad. I also experienced very little bugs. I think my gameplay experience was maybe like 20 to 30% bugs. Unfortunately, not a lot of people are having this experience, and to them, I'm sorry. If you need to, I would definitely recommend getting a refund, or don't and wait for updates. It's completely up to you. However, this is my experience, and my experience is this is my favorite game of the year. CD Projekt Red created another outstanding RPG, in my opinion. Now, keep in mind, Witcher 3 launched in a pretty shit state as well. If you don't remember the launch of Witcher 3, there was memes of it being called Glitcher 3. It did not run well on consoles at all. It was horrendous. But them giving extra time, they actually updated the game. It's now considered one of the best RPGs of the generation. And I have no doubt that this game will also be fixed for people. This game will turn out to be one of the greatest RPGs ever to be made. And for me, it is that. The story is great. The characters, including Johnny Silverhand, is fantastic. The choices you make, to me, actually fucking matter. The quest design is amazing. The open world is amazing. The gunplay feels smooth to me, and the driving just feels so good to me as well. To me, this was worth the hype. I have already put in 120 hours to one of my playthroughs, and I'm now moving on to the Corpo playthrough because I'm already done with Nomad. I'm having a blast. And there's no other game I would be playing right now. Like, this game has been my game of the year so far. I know people are going to be like, oh, the game's shit, you're just a fanboy. No, I just know that CD Projekt Red will do whatever it takes to save this game, because they have a lot riding on this game, and they don't want this game to fail. So I would say give them some time. I know they said the last 2 updates are going to be in January or February. They're probably going to release smaller updates after that, but they're addressing a lot of the issues in January and February. I haven't experienced a lot of the issues, but to the people who are, I am so sorry. I will not blame you if you honestly got a refund. But for me, this is easily my game of the year. I hope you guys enjoyed my 2020 games tier list, and I'll see you guys in the next video.